months ago, I started my Mounjaro journey, and to tell you the truth, I was honestly terrified. But today, I'm here to tell you exactly how much weight I've lost, about non-scale victories that had me on the verge of tears, and the one thing I wish I had known since day one. Let's get into it. For those of you who are new here, I'm Anissa, and this is Reset with Anissa. 3 months ago, I started my Mounjaro journey on 2.5 milligrams of Mounjaro, which is a GLP-1 and a GIP agonist. And I did all of this to reverse my type 2 diabetes, which was really out of control, and to help me with weight loss. In addition, by losing weight, I was hopeful that I could really take my moderate sleep apnea and make it mild. I'm going to give you all of the numbers, all of the victories, and all of the challenges that I have been through over these last 90 days. Let's start with exactly what everyone wants to know. How has the weight loss been? Well, on May 6th, 2025, I went for a physical examination, and at that exam, I weighed 204.6 pounds. My doctor agreed that I needed some sort of health intervention because my A1C was an insanely high 14.1. Now, in the United States, if your A1C is 6.5, you are a diabetic. I was over double, almost triple the level of when you are diagnosed. We decided on Mounjaro, and I was unsure of the entire process. She filled out the paperwork for prior authorization, and that took about 10 days. In those 10 days, because I was terrified of this high 14.1 A1C, I really did my best to try to immediately overhaul my diet. I did that by simply eliminating candy, chips, soda. So by the time my Mounjaro 2.5 milligram prescription was approved on Friday, May 16th, when I picked it up, I had already lost close to 5 pounds. So for the start of my Mounjaro journey, on Friday, May 16th, I weighed 199.9 pounds. 3 months later, and now we're talking August 8th, 2025, my weight is now 181.8 pounds, which means I have lost 18.8 pounds in 3 months. Now, I know that there are many people who are losing at a much faster rate, and there are times when I have gotten so disappointed because I wanted a greater loss. But honestly, when you look at where my health was on May 6th to where my health was on August 8th, I am just in a much better place. And I'm talking physical health and emotional health as well. Now let's take a look at the A1C that I mentioned already. When I had my A1C taken in the spring, on May 6th, it was 14.1. I revisited my doctor in July, and it was 7.5, which is significant, almost cut in half. But what's really exciting is that on August 5th, I had to get lab work. I am so close to getting out of the diabetic range, and a lot of that is Mounjaro, but a lot of that is honestly my nutrition, my low carb, moderate protein, and fat diet. I am so happy. I know that I am no longer overwhelming every organ in my body with that insanely high A1C. A1C lowers. Is that a non-scale victory, or is that a scale victory? I'm just not sure. I think I'm going to be in the normal range of health. Even when the weight hasn't gone down, I went from wearing a 16, 18 to being able to wear a size 12. All of my sports bras are too large, so I need to go and replace them as well. I don't know if that's really a good thing or not. Just as a lady, I don't want to lose everything. I like to still have the girls, be the girls. But that's a huge victory. Also, I feel like I am just starting to hit my stride in getting sleep without waking up in the middle of the night. Another non scale victory for me is that I can walk long distances outside, up and down hills, and not get out of breath. I didn't realize this until I was walking a trail that's nearby my home. And I walked further than I ever had before. And then I turned around and came back. And coming back, I realized, oh my goodness, this is all uphill. I didn't realize walking there, it was all downhill. And I was not out of breath. I was not tired. Usually, when I come home, I need to get something to drink and I need to sit on my sofa and just kind of recover. I got home, picked up my son, and immediately went out shopping. So, that is another huge non scale victory. Doing all of that walking and uphill and not tiring out, not being out of breath, not needing an inhaler, that's a huge victory for me. Everything isn't always peaches and cream. I talked to my doctor and I raised my Mounjaro prescription. And I probably, had I more carefully examined everything that was going into my mouth, I probably could have stayed on a lower dose. So that was the ugly, moving up a dose when I probably did not need to. The bad is, why can't I be satisfied just chewing one or two pieces of gum? Why do I need so many pieces? That's even with Mounjaro, that sweet taste calls my name. I have left my home when I was in my pajamas. I didn't leave in my pajamas, but I was in my pajamas watching a show and I decided I wanted some gum. I went and got dressed and drove to the local convenience store to get gum. So I don't seem to have the ability to regulate the need for sweets. Now, I'm not eating candy. I've never been a chocolate fan. I'm not eating savory snacks. I'm not even eating cookies or cakes or pies. The bad were some side effects that I had. When I first started Mounjaro 2.5 milligrams, I really did not hydrate. I still barely hydrate enough, but I did not hydrate and I experienced constipation like I've never experienced in my life. And it took me about 2 solid weeks to figure out a game plan of drinking enough, having more fiber, like eating salads, making sure that I took stool softener, and also electrolytes. So that took me the first 2 weeks on Mounjaro 2.5 milligrams. The next month, so June 13th, I moved up to Mounjaro 5 milligrams. I immediately experienced overwhelming fatigue to the point that the day after, Saturday, June 14th, I was too tired to cook, and I love to cook. I had to order out DoorDash, Uber Eats for lunch and for dinner. By the following week, Friday, June 20th, when I took my second injection of 5 milligrams, fatigue was gone, but in its place came some insomnia. That took a while to get over. What I found with the insomnia is that since my digestive system is slow, I'm really very sensitive to caffeine. I just can't drink as much. I don't drink all of my coffee in the morning. I was not finished drinking my coffee sometimes until 3 in the afternoon, and that just kept me from being able to fall asleep and able to stay asleep. Also experienced having no appetite whatsoever. What I found is closer to injection day, the appetite suppression decreased and I was able to eat more. But appetite suppression is so real that, especially when I am working and on 5 milligrams, I can go all day and forget to even eat lunch. One thing that has been a game changer for me has been my exercise regimen. I am one of the people who honestly believes that being able to reset my body, my diabetes, and some weight loss, and probably to gain some muscle because I am postmenopausal. I'm 54 years old and I lose muscle more than I gain muscle. I believe that my body, rebuilding it, is 80% in the kitchen and then 20% outside of the kitchen. But my exercise game has really improved. I use the Peloton app. I don't know if you can see it, but over there's my exercise bike. Sometimes I just walk around my neighborhood. I have started strength training. I am gaining muscle. My BMI is lower. So Mounjaro these 3 months has made it easier for me to exercise and to change my diet because it's taken away most of those cravings that I've had. I don't feel hungry. My son's fruit snacks and cookies and pretzels are no longer calling my name. If I decide to reflect and take a look back at the last 3 months, what I realized is that the biggest change was not me starting Mounjaro. The biggest change started with me believing that something would help me to lower my A1C, and that's something I could have control over. Mounjaro, for me, is one of the tools in my toolbox. But faith and belief that I could do it, I think, is number one. Number two, sticking to the 30 grams of carbs per day and believing that that would work. Taking my Mounjaro every week, regardless of if I was constipated or tired or having insomnia, like no matter what, taking that injection when I'm supposed to take it and being consistent, all of those things helped me to get where I am over these past 3 months. All of those things helped me to go from an A1C of 14.1 to 6.7, helped me to go from 204.6 pounds pre Mounjaro, 199.9 the day I started Mounjaro, to 181.8 pounds on August 8th, 2025. Also, going from a size 16, 18 clothes to size 12, having to buy all new sports bras because a sports bra is no good to you if it's too loose. Again, I'm still not sure if that's a good thing. I don't want to lose all of my curves, but I'll take it. Now that I am at my 3 month mark, I want to share with you my goals. So I was on 2.5 milligrams of Mounjaro for 1 month. I was on 5 milligrams of Mounjaro for 2 months. Last week, I started 7.5 milligrams of Mounjaro. And honestly, whether I lose weight or not, I am going to stay on 7.5 milligrams of Mounjaro throughout the school year. I don't want to move up in dose and then have any side effects that make it difficult for me to do my job. When you work in a school, you do not have the luxury of being able to use the restroom whenever you want to. I can't risk GI issues. So I'm going to rely on my nutrition and this 7.5 milligrams of Mounjaro to get me through to at least June. So, goal number one, stay on 7.5 milligrams of Mounjaro. Goal number two, I am going to go from 3 cardio sessions a week to 2 cardio sessions a week. I am going to go from 2 strength training sessions a week to 3. So I'm 181.8 pounds. So I need to lose 31 pounds. It could take me until next summer to get to 150 pounds, but I'm willing to stick it out and wait. If you're on Mounjaro, I'd like to hear from you. Comment below. Tell me what's your biggest non-scale victory? What's your goal going forward for the fall? in terms of your dosage, your exercise, your nutrition? Is there anything that you're going to change in the fall? If you're new to this channel and you're new to my journey, please like and subscribe to my channel so that you can follow along and see if I'm getting closer to or further away from the goals that I've set for myself, because you are watching Reset with Anissa, and I'm so thankful that you're here joining me. Please remember, I will put out 2 videos per week. Make sure you have your notification bell to all so that you know when I'm releasing new content. Thanks for watching. See you next week.